Aelin slices her forearm with his claw and offers him the blood oath.
I'm fine.
And
You're crying, not me.
he-
Hey, everybody, this is Kat,
And this is Rachel.
and you're listening to the Smut Peddlers podcast, a show for people who love books, especially when they're smut. We discuss our likes, our dislikes, and share all our favorite moments with you.
Today we're talking about Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, so grab your favorite beverage and get ready to burn with us. All right, this is part 3 of Kingdom of Ash. We've been reading in the romantic order. Today we're going to cover chapters 23 to 35.
Previously, we were with kind of all of our groups separated.
Mm-hmm.
The witches and Dorian, they made it to the Krakens, and they are moving with the Krakens towards Eyllwe, which is kind of not the direction they necessarily planned on going, but they are still trying to win. Manon, at least, is still trying to win over the Krakens to be kind of on her side. Aedion and Lysandra, they're in the throes of war. They are in it. They pretty much, Lysandra went and scouted, and there were like 50,000 Morath soldiers coming their direction. And that's like Ilkin, other monsters, witches, like everything, everywhere, all coming to them. So they are fighting. They're on like day 2 of war, pretty much, at this point. And they're getting pushed back from like the line that they were holding, which is not great. We're a little scared for them. Chaol and Yrene, they made it to Anielle. Sartaq and Nesryn have also made it to Anielle with the Ruks. They are pretty much just preparing for the attack on Anielle. I don't know if this is the same group of soldiers that Lysandra and Aedion found or saw, but there is a large group also of soldiers headed towards Anielle.
It's likely a different group because it's pretty far away.
Yeah.
Like, Anielle's pretty far away from where the other group would be up towards Terrasen.
Correct, yeah. And the
Which
witches...
is so great. Not even the same group that they're both fighting. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a little scary. Not great. Our kind of get Aelin back team, Elide, the plan is Elide is going into Doranelle. And she's going in kind of as a spy to get as much information as possible. Very similar to when she was trying to find that troop for her and Lorcan to kind of like sneak into. Yeah. She's going into Doranelle. She's playing the like, oh no, Cairn left me and I'm just sad and like whatever, trying to ask about Cairn to see where he is.
This plan so much.
Yeah, it's not the best plan, especially because everyone knows of
it. Just gives
Cairn.
me anxiety, man.
Yeah, it's not good. Maeve heard, and then back with like Aelin. Maeve heard that there is a collar nearby, and so she is off to go find said collar. And in the meantime, Aelin needs to be under watch pretty much, and she has pretty much told Cairn to take Aelin and Fenrys to a more secure location in a different spot. So they're on the move. We don't know where they're going. We just know that they are en route to a new place. And so everything's gonna be great.
It'll be fine.
Fine. Everything's fine. One of the last things that kind of played in Aelin's head before they were gonna move her, like in that like the midst of them talking about her moving, was the sentiment of like, do not let them relocate you because they're trying to like disorient you. It's like part of her assassin training. I loved that all of the assassin stuff kind of comes back in little pockets. So she's like, okay, I have to like pay attention to my surroundings again. I have to really like, she disassociates to like survive enough, and then when things are happening, she has to like really tune in to little bits and pieces to know where she is, where she's going, all of that. It's all of her assassin training.
It's good training.
Yeah. We don't like Arab and Hamel, but
no.
He did equip our girl pretty well with all of the assassin guild training that she was forced through.
It's working out so far.
Yep. We don't have any like real new characters.
No.
It's all kind of the same groups of people.
Same shit.
Yep.
We pick up with Elide going into Doranelle. She has used berries to make her eyes look like red and like she's been crying and like puffy, and goes into a tavern to try to scope. I love how she specifically writes out like how crafty she is being. I love that part because Elide is the one that comes up with the like idea to like grab the berries to make it look like she's like puffy and red, like she was crying. And then she takes a compact mirror basically that like Rowan or one of them had, and then is using it to pretend to be staring at herself while she uses the mirror to point like behind her so she can see and like scout everyone that's in the room pretty much. Which I love. I love hearing when she's like being a little spy. It's so great. She makes it to the tavern. She uses the mirror to like look around and spy on everybody and try to pick out like who's gonna know information. And she spots a group of soldiers at one of the tables in the tavern and like goes up to them and plays the Cairn was supposed to meet me here, like I'm looking for him, I need to talk to him. And there's like 2 female commanders and then the rest of the people at the table are guys, and they're all just like, the fuck, what,
like,
huh?
Why would you be looking for him?
Why, if you were with him, why would you be looking for him again? Like, you got away. Like, why would you be back? And then the rest of them are just like, what? They're all confused, but they all believe her to some extent.
Yeah.
The main commander, the other part that I liked about this was it was like the 2 female commanders, I think, are like sisters.
Yeah.
And they like share a look between each other and then tell her that they don't know where Cairn is. And Elide's thought is literally like, okay, well, I don't know if they're not telling me because they don't know or if they're not telling me because they don't want, like,
me to know.
We're trying to save you.
Yeah.
Like, unintentionally. So she's like, shit, okay. At the next place, I need to be less desperate and see if I can, like, not come off so, like, weak. So she, like, tries to, like, get rid of the berries and stuff from her eyes and is, like, thinking about how she's going to improve her con for the next, like, tavern that she goes to. But before she can even do that, she gets approached by one of the women that was in there. And she knows exactly who she is. Yeah. She doesn't necessarily know that she's Elide, but she's like, you're wearing Lorcan's shirt and that's Rowan's cloak. So I know who you are. Like, I know that you're working with them.
When Elide walked up, they made eye contact and she like flared. It's like noted that like the one commander like flared her nostrils and like looked at her a little funny. And then they like, the sisters looked at each other and the one sister was like, guys, come with me. Like, we're going to get more drinks. And like, she pulled a bunch of people away while the one sister kind of stayed.
I feel like I don't know how they didn't think that that would be a thing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Like, once she came up and was like, Lorcan, I can smell them
Rowan
on you.
Should know. Yeah, that was. Like,
I literally was like, wait, why did Rowan and
Gabriel
Lorcan
and
like
Lorcan
not think about that? Like, because there's got to be a ton of them around that will know.
Well, they're all
like
fae,
both
like
good
and
right, and but like that would know those with 3 specifically.
Commander? Absolutely. Rowan, like, Lorcan, silly. Gabriel were like the head commanders of all of Maeve's army.
Yeah.
Like, trained all of them. But, like, nah, they wouldn't know. Which is the reason they're not going into town, because, like, they would be recognized instantly. So it's just like...
But also they could smell... I thought that was the funniest thing where I just was kind of like, oh, wait, that was really dumb. How did this not turn out bad? So anyways, the girl notices, but it's like, it's fine, because she's on our side, I guess.
Yeah.
She's met Aelin before at Mistward.
Yeah.
I don't remember her at all.
I don't remember. Well,
I don't remember her by name. I remember them meeting people like
Yes.
at Mistward when
I
they
remember
came,
the comment of SR asking how, like, if Lorcan is well. Like, I remember that conversation.
Yeah, because then she
Lorcan
says
was
that
like,
she and Lorcan had like been a thing, and Elide like got jealous for a split second and then was angry that she got jealous, like angry at herself. She was like, just kidding, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, so meanwhile, this is happening, like, in an alleyway, also. So, like, Elide has left the tavern. She, like, plays the, like, weak, I'm, like, sad, I'm walking, I'm, like, hunched over, like, blah, blah, blah,
I'll
finds
just
an
go,
alleyway.
I guess, bye.
And then is like, God, I gotta, like, look less scared and lonely. And then SR's like, hello, what are you doing here? And she's like, huh? What?
Hi.
Yeah.
She just gives all of the information that we need, which is fantastic.
Oh, yeah. Wonderful.
She, like, knows... She doesn't know where Maeve went, is, like, basically the only thing that she can't give the rest of the group. She just knows that she left.
Yeah, she's not
They
in Doranelle
also...
at the moment.
She also finds out from this conversation that SR realizes that they have Aelin. She makes a comment that, like, they felt something, like people felt some like burst of magic, but nobody knew what it was. Mm-hmm. And she, from having this conversation with Elide and now knowing and putting the pieces together of like, she's with Rowan and Lorcan. Yeah. Rowan and Lorcan aren't in the north. Like, she has to have her.
Yeah.
Which like makes them all kind of nervous because they're like, how has she been here this whole time and no one's noticed? Like, it's confirmation that nobody really knows that she's there other than the people who are actually, like, involved in torturing her, which is terrifying. Yeah. But she tells her, like, where Cairn is, that Cairn is in, like, an eastern camp, that Maeve is not there. She doesn't know where she went, but she's, like, not with Cairn. Mm-hmm. And gives her, like, as much information as she possibly can about, like, the guards rotations and these other things. And even brings her sister in with her to, like, just get as much information to Elide as she possibly can so that Elide can then go back and report back to Lorcan and Rowan and Gavriel.
Yeah, which she does. She gets back to them and pretty much they make a plan with this information. Rowan is gonna go in first. The plan is Elide is to hide in the woods.
Yeah.
She did her part, which was gathering information. Rowan's gonna go in by himself.
They literally make the comment, we all go in, we all go out. And then literally on the next page, Rowan was like, yeah, fuck that. Also, Elide's staying in the woods. And I was like, I literally just read the sentence. We all go in and we all go out.
It makes sense. It makes logical sense that, like, the three warriors go and fight against the other Fae warriors.
That part I get. The Elide being in the forest is, I'm on the same page. Yeah. I get it. It's we're all going to go in and we'll all get out. And then it turned into, Rowan's going to go in and Gavriel and Lorcan are going to watch. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, so the plan is Rowan's going to break in via the, like, southern entrance. Lorcan is going to be at another entrance, kind of looking at that one, and Gavriel is kind of going to be off on his. So they're looking at 3 different points of entry. Mm-hmm. Rowan is going to make his way to the center, put a call out for Lorcan and Gavriel, and then they are going to cause distractions at their entrances so that essentially Rowan can then get away with doing what he's doing if the rest of the group is kind of going towards Lorcan and Gavriel. Yeah. So, like, from a war distraction sneaking into a camp thing, it makes sense. But yeah, the, like, we all go in, we all go out scenario of, like, okay, but then Rowan's gonna go by himself. What I did really like is that they took the evening, because they obviously, the plan is to go in at dawn, because that's when the camp is the weakest. That's from some of the information that SR told.
Yeah, the guards are
Elide.
Like, that rotation is the worst at dawn. So they're like, this is the time you got to do it if you're going to do it.
There's less people on watch. The, like, people who were, like, the highest ranking are no longer out. It's, like, kind of the lower tier army, I guess, that's on watch at the time. I really loved that he prayed to Mala. I thought that was a nice little touch. and there was like this little bit of like twinkle and like heat that went towards him when he did that. I thought it was I liked that little touch. Some of
that whole last page of the chapter is just very sweet, because the last line, like the whole last chapter or the whole last paragraph, is very nice. He had killed his way across the world. He had gone to war and back more times than he cared to remember. And despite it all, despite the rage and despair and ice he'd wrapped around his heart, he'd still found Aelin. Every horizon he gazed toward, unable, unwilling to rest during those centuries. Every mountain and ocean he'd seen and wondered what lay beyond, it had been her. It had been Aelin, the silent call of the mating bond driving him, even when he could not feel it. They'd walked this dark path together back to the light. He would not let the road end here. Oh, it's so cute. My heart.
So
that last line, I've read it like so many times now. I'm just like, oh my god, it's so sweet. They've walked the dark path together back to the light. Oh.
So we have our plan.
Yep.
Team Aelin, Team Save Aelin has their plan. They're gonna go in. Let's go hang out with Manon now.
Do we get to see the plan executed quickly? No, we have to shift. Maintain suspense.
With Manon and the Krakens. Pretty much, the Krakens are ignoring Manon and the 13. They'll only really talk to Dorian. Because they have no issues with
so
Dorian.
Much.
It's hilarious.
Dorian was like the I don't know, peacemaker or like bridge before, when Manon and the 13 were all starting to like hang out again.
Mm-hmm.
And like when Manon has done shit that like has pissed them off and vice versa. He's just the middleman. He's the like non-biased observer, hanging out, just like trying to keep everybody from killing each other.
He is the one person that has been trained in a royal court to, like, you know, keep the peace when you need to keep the peace.
He probably is the best bomb diffuser they have, truly. Yeah.
So this whole time they were traveling towards Eyllwe. They finally make it to this like ancient camp, and it is the location that they talked about all of these like hearths being, where if you light the flame in one hearth, it kind of like spreads throughout all the others, and then it alerts all of the witches, all the Kraken witches, that they're being summoned to this like one location. So the Krakens and the witches, they pretty much all made it to this ancient camp, and this is like their final stop before they get into Eyllwe. The next day, they're going to go into Eyllwe. As part of Manon's, like, well, get the Krakens on my side, Glennis is polishing a bunch of brooms. Mm-hmm. And she's like, here, go deliver these to people. And Manon is like, huh? What? Why? What do you mean? And instead of saying no, she does the, like, no, yeah, that makes sense. I should probably do something and prove to these people that, like, I actually am here to help them and I'm on their side.
Yeah, because she makes a comment about, or she doesn't make a comment, but she has a thought about the fact that Glennis is cleaning the brooms in the first place. Mm-hmm. That, like, the person who is the leader of this clan, basically, is doing this menial task of cleaning the brooms with, like, that any other witch could do. And I love that Glennis is like, great, now you're gonna deliver them. And she's like, huh?
Yes.
And it's like, no. Like, she can't expect any of them to want to follow her if she continues to do all of this stuff where she's like above all of the rest of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she does it. She goes with Astrid. Astrid pretty much sees her carrying these broomsticks, and so Astrid takes a couple, and she starts handing out the broomsticks back to the Kraken witches. A majority of them are like, make comments of, oh, now I have to clean it again, or, oh, this is like cursed now, or something. Like, they just make all of these like backhanded remarks about Manon having touched their broom and now it being like tainted in some way. Until they get...
Kind of fair.
Yeah. Until they get to Carson, who is, at the time, like, taking watch near where the wyverns are. And so I think that Glennis knew she would potentially be an easier person to like win over. Maybe she is related in some way that we don't know about, or she might just be older and wiser and know a little bit more about like the things that were done to Manon as a child prior, like, and not actually necessarily hold it against her. Like, this is the way she was raised. She didn't know any different. So she gives the broom to Carson and is very like, Carson's very kind about it. She says thank you.
Yeah.
And Manon notices Carson kind of staring at Abraxos, and can't think of her name right now because we were not told it until towards the end of the book, until this end of this section.
Yrene.
Yes. So Yrene is the blue wyvern that is Astrin's
right?
wyvern. Yeah. So Manon starts kind of talking to her, saying like they're kind of just like the brooms, but a little bit spicier. Like they they have teeth and tails that will do a little bit more damage than a broom can do. But
Abraxos, a spicy broom.
Yeah, a spicy broom, pretty much.
Nope. A flower-loving spicy broom.
Yes. They have like a nice little moment near where Abraxos is. So Manon delivers 4 brooms, ending with Carson, who is with the wyverns. She is kind of staring off at Abraxos and Yrene and isn't saying anything about it. So Manon kind of just like interjects some information of like, we've just kind of traded in brooms for wyverns. It's the same thing. They're just a bit more deadly, which is a great little comment by Manon. They also kind of talk back about, so the Blackbeaks also used to fly on broomsticks. And so as part of their coming of age, they had to harvest a tree and carve a broomstick out of it, pretty much. The difference between the Krakens and the Blackbeaks is that the Blackbeaks would go for ironwood trees and create these like ironwood brooms. And so they kind of have this little like back and forth chat about like, wait, where is your broom? Like, I don't remember where mine is. Astron's like, I don't know, it's in the keep, in the Blackbeak keep somewhere. And Manon's like, mine was in a closet at one point. No better than just like an actual broom you'd sweep the floor with. Like, because they lost magic, and so they pretty much just threw aside all of their brooms.
And now they sure shit don't need them.
Yeah, now they have wyverns.
So like, why would they go pick up broom over Abraxos at this point? Nope.
Absolutely not.
Also, I'd love, like, one of my favorite bits of lore is the fact that they have they choose different things of wood, like, based on clan. Yeah. That's cool. I love that. Because they used, the Krakens use redwood, which, if I had to choose a wood to use, I would 1000% choose a redwood. That shit is gonna smell so good forever.
Yep.
Oh,
absolutely.
I can't imagine. I can just picture in my mind, like, sensory-wise, the, like, flying around on a redwood broom and it's raining. Oh my god, it's gonna smell so good. I would die. I want a redwood broom.
So they're all chatting kind of back and forth about brooms and kind of how they come to be. They're having like a nice conversation. And Carson, to the side, says something along the lines of like, Abraxos is no more than a dog. And to the Krakens, like, they would keep dogs as pets. Manon kind of remembers this as like a thing. And so she's like, oh yeah, his name is Abraxos. He's a little different. Just a tad different than like kind of the rest of them. He's a little softy. We love Abraxos. And Carson says he and the blue one are mates. And Astrid and Manon look at each other like, they're what now? And she goes, he's smaller, yet he dotes on her, nuzzles her when no one is looking. Manon exchanged a glance with Astrid. Their mounts incessantly flirted, yes, but to mate? Interesting, Manon managed to say. You didn't know they did such things? Carson's brows nodded. We knew they bred, but we haven't witnessed it being for choice, Astrid stepped in. For love, the Kraken said. These beasts, despite their dark master, are capable of love.
Of course they are.
My heart.
Look, we have known this forever. Like, you gotta think back to when the
Blue Bloods.
Wyverns, Cressida, when her wyvern was like, looked like it was begging for her to save her rider. We knew this already. They're fucking catching up.
Yeah. Oh, it's just so cute. So I just wrote all caps, Abraxos and Yrene are mates.
It also makes me like even more sad for Dorian because like I feel like when he learns this information he's gonna be more upset about having to like have killed a wyvern because he's like, God damn it, they're capable of love.
We're not telling him. He's not allowed to know. He doesn't get to know.
He's gonna find out at some point, but you know,
it's fine. He doesn't. It's fine. He doesn't.
It'll be okay.
So this whole time, Dorian is off doing his thing. He's hanging out with Vesta. He does all of his little magic tricks for Vesta, pretty much. And his current thing is he's trying to shift still. So he's trying to shift his eye color is the main thing. His goal is to shift, sneak into Morath, obtain the third key. The only thing he's thinking about right now. He just keeps trying to change his appearance. Manon is still kind of questioning his incessant need to like shift. Dorian keeps trying to play it off of like, oh, I'm just curious if I can do it. Just, you know, I'm just trying to see if like I'll be able to do it. If my magic is different. Like, just indulge me and tell me if my eyes are changing color kind of thing.
Dorian, in practicing, like trying to practice his shapeshifting, the conversation that they end up having, she asks him what is different about this magic than the other one, because he's obviously like struggling. So he talks about how like they feel like they come from different sources. And then she asks which one he likes best. And he says that he likes the ice best because it was just kind of the first one that manifested. He doesn't really know why. And she says, you're not a cold person. And he says, is that your professional opinion? Because they can't bother having a nice conversation without joking in some way whatsoever. And she says, you can descend to those levels, but you are not angry when your friends... But you can descend to those levels when you are angry, when your friends are threatened. But you're not cold, not at heart. I've seen men who are, and you are not. And he also tells her that she's not cold. And she responds, I am 170 years old. I have spent the majority of that time killing. Don't convince yourself that the events of the past few months have erased that. And he says, keep telling yourself that. Oh, that part is so good. The conversation like basically turns into he's trying to convince her that she cares. And I love the way that he talks in the conversation, because it's almost like he's explaining to her what caring actually feels like, because even if it's like you wouldn't know what caring is if it slapped you in the face. Like, that's so accurate for this conversation, because I really don't think that she can connect what that feeling is to the actual word, because she's never been taught it before, which is so depressing.
She's also been taught her whole life that if you like give a shit about another human being or like another being, you are weak. So like you have to put this just mask on of like it doesn't matter, because If not, you're going to be perceived as weak.
And he tells her, too, like, caring doesn't make you weak. And she says, then why don't you heed your own advice? And he says, I care. I care about more than I should. I even care about you. And then she calls him a fool. And then his eyes change color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they pretty much go to bed color. And he wakes up to her, like, standing over him. And she's like your eyes are brown.
Staring at him.
He opens his eyes. They're like, okay, what's going on? And she just goes,
she says nothing.
Your eyes are brown. And then walks out. And you're like, hello? What? That's it? You're just going to be like, sir, your eyes are brown, and leave the room? Please?
Oh my god, you remember when we were reading that other book and Yrene kept saying that, like, you know, admitting things to yourself and accepting your feelings will help you heal and move forward. That's weird. There's no connection to what just happened.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's not the same.
He woke up and his magic felt freer. It wasn't being held by anything. He's pretty much been trying to control his magic. And it's the same that, like, Aelin had to learn it too. Like, you can't just, like, push it down. You have to let it flow as well. And so he was trying to, like, cap it. And now he's going to, like, let it actually do what it can do, which is...
He also took advice from, like, a Vogue spider on how to control his power, which probably isn't super gonna work for him the same way that we'd want it to, so I'm not that surprised that it didn't work.
Yeah. Me either. We don't like...
But it's working now. I'm excited.
Yes. So he has changed his eyes. He has shifted a little bit. It is just his eye color. But it is...
We're starting somewhere.
Better than nothing at this point. So we are back with Aelin. She is being moved. Actively being moved. She's back in her box. Like I said earlier, she is a trained assassin. In her mind, she is saying, I can't be moved. This isn't great. Like, I'm going to have to learn a new location. But she starts to tune in to all of the sounds and scents and things that are happening around her. She no longer hears rushing water. She talks about, like, internally, she can, like, hear the bustling of, like, armor and things. So she knows she's in a war camp. She can smell the furnace that's heating in a tent. Like, she can see through, like, the slits of her iron box that there is, like, a tan tent, and then she can see the stars a little bit. Like, she is notating things that are different and out of place compared to where she was, which I think is great. We know her mind is still there, which they've been trying to break, so yay. She gets taken out of her coffin and put kind of on a table. We learn that this is Karen's, like, last stand with her. He is treating this as if it is his last chance to inflict pain on her. So he's going to go out with a bang. Because
Maeve is coming back with a collar.
Correct. To put on
and
him.
Aelin is like...
And he will no longer be able... Like, there would be no... It's no longer him running the show. Maeve will then be running the show again. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So his plan is to put her on this metal table and light these things on fire beneath the table so that the table heats and it essentially, like, burns her. His goal is to make her afraid of her own fire. Fenrys is not having it. He is growling. He is fighting against his, like, reins that are keeping him there. He has seen the worst of the worst, and he is just not about it. And as Cairn's about to light these things, Aelin says wait. And so Cairn is thinking, oh, she's going to finally break. And she's gonna, like, swear the blood oath, like, tell us where the things are. She knows that even if she were to tell him, he's still going to do all these things. Like, this is the type of man that he is. And then we switch to Rowan's POV. So, like, we have this lead up. Rowan is making his way. He's making his way into the camp. He's fighting people. He's killing people. He is not looking back. He's like, she's in here. If she's not, I'm going to find Cairn, and he's dead. Like, it's just, those are my two options. Like, we are getting her out, and Cairn's going to die. So, like, you know, win-win either way. So he's fighting his way through the camp. He is pretty much making his way, like, about to go through, and a voice in his head is like, go now, because Aelin's about to make a stand. As we know, Aelin's about to do something. So he starts just fucking booking it. Lorcan and Gavriel are doing what they need to do, and they're waiting kind of on the sidelines. Gavriel has shifted into his animal form, and Lorcan can feel death. As we know, he is tied towards the god of death, and so as Rowan is making his way through and he's killing people, Lorcan can pretty much sense where Rowan is just based off the death that's occurring, which is a little wild.
That's so dope.
And it was like the first time
it's so cool
that it was kind of said in that way. Every other time it was like, oh, he can sense death, and it reads as if like he can sense death is coming. So like the Ilkin were coming in and he could sense death, but not necessarily because things were dying. This is the first time he's getting like pinpoint accuracy of where Rowan is based off the like feeling of death moving through the camp, which is
so cool.
Fucking sick.
Also, this whole time, like, she's preparing for her last stand because she is over her dead fucking body. Quite literally, will she let a collar on her? Mm-hmm. She, like, has thoughts about the fact that, like, this can't happen because she's too powerful for Maeve to have. It's fine because Dorian is the second option for completing the curse. And she's like, I won't even have enough time to really feel bad about it because I'll be dead soon.
Yeah.
Her whole goal. And I love the fact that you like that you brought up the comment about her assassin training of like being brought to another location, because what she has said by that is they're going to bring you to another location to kill you. Mm-hmm. If you get brought to a private location, it's so that they have a private place to kill you. And she's like, I am preparing to, like, I will go to my death rather than let them put a collar on me.
And in these moments, you know that Fenrys understands where her mind is as well.
I think it's part of what he senses, because
yeah.
I think that he is able to sense both of like death looming and then also death happening at the same time. So like that last line of him feeling the death trickle past, I think ends up being a combination of like Rowan starting to move by and then also Aelin like starting to get close to death.
Yeah. Aelin right now, as we know, she's going to keep this man talking. She is going to buy as much time as she physically can. So she is asking him questions. She's coming for his manhood. She pretty much says, you're inadequate. And I heard all of the other soldiers, like,
she's
and
trying
guards,
to get him into a rage to kill her.
Yeah. She's like, they forget that I'm also Fae and I have Fae hearing. I hear them talk about you and talk about how you're not equipped and you're like all of these things. Like, you pretty much have to tie people up to be able to beat them because you're too weak and like you don't have a leg to stand on. Like all of these things. She's just insult after insult. She's trying to get him to rage. One thing that she knows is like when people rage, they like disorient themselves. They don't move with an intention anymore. Their whole, like, she is trying to get him like off of his feet
Mm-hmm.
Because the second he slips up, because she is trained so well, she's going to be able to make a move, which I think is fantastic. She pretty much puts on her assassin. She puts Selena like assassin smile on, and she's like, "Do your worst," and just smirks at him. And of course, this enrages him. Fenris knows what's happening because he's seen her do it. He's seen her put on this kind of fake persona to like get the other person riled up or like make a final stand or like do that kind of thing. Like he's seen her kind of put her little swagger on to get the other person mad, and she does it very well. I listened through this section twice because it was so good and I didn't want to miss any little bit of it. Of course, Karen starts just like laying into her, punching her, hitting her, pulls her up, smashes her against like a table. Fenris is like growling in the corner, trying to fight against everything holding him back because he's obviously under the blood oath like order to not do anything.
He tries like getting a poker. Karen like tries getting like a poker to be able to like attack Aelin with it, and she's able to like get it and is like trying to break free from her chains and stuff, and like she's not fast enough, and basically Karen gets like back on top of her and is just hitting her, and she realizes like as this is happening that Karen's not as he has more control over himself than she thought that he did. Mm-hmm. And that it's really unlikely that he'll actually kill her. But like
he's also under order that he
like
can't too.
Right.
So like he has sworn the blood oath to Maeve as well, and that
she was really convinced that like if she could get him enraged enough that he would do it accidentally.
Mm-hmm.
And she realizes, like, kind of after baiting him as much as she feels like she could, that he isn't going to do that. And that's kind of when Fenris starts to, like, really freak out because he knows as well that, like, that, I think he suspected that that's what she was trying to have happen. And he, like, can't lose her. Like, he can't.
Yeah. We swapped to his point of view, and the first thing he recognizes is that she blinks 4 times at him with the sense of "I am here, I am with you," as like her final farewell to him. And his internal dialogue is just he would not allow it. He will not allow this to be her final stand. He will not let it happen. And he slowly and very painfully pushes against the blood oath that is holding him in place. This part, I was like, I want to scream. I was so excited. Because essentially, Fenris breaks his blood oath. Like, he severs the blood oath with Maeve himself by pushing against it, all to save Aelin.
Which will kill him.
Yes. We don't learn that at the very beginning of this, but yes, we do.
But we know that already.
That it will.
Like, if you break the blood oath, and if you break it yourself, like, it will kill you. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to be released, the only way you can get out of it is to be, like, released from it. So, like, we knew going in that would kill him. And he breaks it. Because it's like, you know, you can only push people so fucking far before they get the strength to be able to do fucking wild shit. Maeve, still don't fucking understand why you just let Rowan and Gabriel and everyone can go away. But it's fine, whatever. It doesn't make any sense. But
Karen was terrified, too. The second, like, Fenris starts standing up, Karen's like, get back in your spot. Like, lay down. Like, sit. Like, you can't move towards
tries
me,
to like use the actual words of like, this is an order from your queen, like back down.
And Fenris just like growls at him, and you're like, yes.
He would not allow it. Snarling, the male inside him thrashing, Fenris bellowed at the dark chain binding him. He shredded into it, biting and tearing with every scrap of defiance he possessed. Let it kill him, wreck him. He would not serve. Not another heartbeat. He would not obey. He would not obey. And slowly, Fenris got to his feet. Ah!
Let's go.
Ugh. With a roar, Fenris leaped, and with it, he snapped the blood oath completely.
Mm-hmm. Cairn pretty much
so then fucking Fenris just beats the shit out of Cairn, basically. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. What really, like, the line right before Fenris breaks his blood oath is Cairn says, pretty much, Fenris looks at Aelin to run, like, get up and run, and Cairn realizes that Fenris is trying to tell her to go, like, I'm a distraction. And Cairn's like, not with a shattered spine, she can't. And he reached for the poker to slam it into her back, and that's what snapped him out. He was just like, not fucking today, and jumps at him. Cairn is terrified, because he's also in his, like, wolf form.
Well, because Aelin's fucking right. He can't fucking do anything to anybody unless they're literally incapacitated, because he's a little bitch. Mm-hmm. So Fenris just fucking moves, and Cairn's like freaking out. Mm-hmm. They fight. It's basically just Fenris just is like, well, I'm not long for this world. I don't give a shit, and just like biting and chewing into him. The two of them are fighting, like, Fenris is not winning necessarily, but is completely monopolizing, like, Cairn's time. Yeah. Aelin has enough time to be able to break the chains at her feet and, like, have the poker basically as a weapon. And,
she books it.
She is being told to run. Like, Fenris tells her to run, because she turns around to look at the two of them to try to help Fenris, and he's like, fuck that, get out of here.
She knows he's dying.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to keep Cairn as busy as possible. Cairn's just trying to wear him out because he also knows that Fenris is going to die from breaking the blood oath. And this has become Fenris's last stand now. It was going to be Aelin's, and now Fenris is like, abso-fucking-lutely not.
Bet, hold my beer. It's mine now.
Mm-hmm.
No.
At this point, Rowan has made it to, like, the center of the camp, but has not made it to where Aelin is.
He's still just fighting through and, like, doesn't have any idea what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He is getting, like, he's getting close enough to the tent that he would signal Lorcan and Gavriel, but is not there yet.
Yeah, he hasn't made the signal yet for them.
There is a line in here, though, where it says, his power... Another onslaught of soldiers barreled for him, and Rowan angled his long knife. His power blasted away their fired arrows, then blasted away the archers, turning them all into bloodied splinters. Oh my god.
So he's fucking shit up trying to get to her.
Yo, if they ever make this into a fucking TV show, this has to be, like, rated M. Please, God, do not... Like, Ugh. I want to see that on a screen, okay? Just let it happen. I just need to see the scale of absolute horrifying blood and gore that this man will commit for Aelin.
Mm-hmm.
I love The Boys as a TV show, and that shit is fucking insane. I would not be disappointed if I got that level of shit in whatever TV show they decide to make on this fucking story. Please.
The best part, we talked about Lorcan. So we switch back. Aelin is running. Rowan is running in. Aelin's trying to get out. She's going the opposite direction of Rowan. Not necessarily the best,
Rowan's
but she's
coming
like,
in, and
out.
Aelin's like, I'm fucking out.
Yeah. Lorcan and Gavriel are still at their post. They have yet to be signaled. Lorcan is still following the death trail that is Rowan, like sensing him. And then all of a sudden, he gets a scent picked up from the other side of the camp of death. And he goes, that's not good. And looks at Gavriel and says, move now. Like, pretty much saying, fuck what we're waiting for. There is death coming from over there as well. Like, not good. So Lorcan's like, we're not waiting anymore. We're going. Gavriel transforms into his... what's Gavriel? Oh,
Lion?
Lion? Yeah.
I
Transforms
think so, yeah.
into his lion form and takes off. Lorcan is scanning the horizon, trying to figure out, like, what is happening. Where is this death coming from? And he sees Aelin running towards him, iron chains at her wrists and ankles, and an iron mask. And that's all he sees. And so he just throws his magic out towards Rowan, like, she's over here, I see her, she's alive, she's here. Like, you need to stop doing what you're doing there, she's over here. And then he just starts fucking barreling towards Aelin.
It literally says, Lorcan did not expect the sob in his throat as she raced between the tents. Yeah. Good.
Mm-hmm. So he sees her running. They're far away from each other. He is a fae, so he can see very far. So he sees her coming through the tents. He's trying to run towards her. He's, like, just firing his magic out towards Rowan, towards Gavriel, like, hey, she's here. Then he starts, like, centering his magic towards her, killing things around her so that she can make it through, and to tell him, like, come to me. Like, come this direction.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if she feels it, doesn't know any, like, if she's just, like, beelining it. He makes a comment along the lines of, like, he sends his magic out towards Rowan. She's here, signaling. But Lorcan was way too far away. He sees Aelin pretty much converging on 10 different soldiers who are blocking her path. One of the soldiers swings his sword. So at this point, her arms are still chained together. She's holding a poker. He swings his sword down, and the soldier didn't anticipate it. He, like, his goal was to, like, strike her, like, pretty much, cut her, like, decapitate her, pretty much, like, going for her head. She lifts her arms up, and he breaks the chains with the sword. And then she twists on them, turning on them.
It says,
The
the
fool
fool didn't
yeah.
realize who he faced. What he faced. It wasn't a fire-breathing bitch queen bound in iron who charged at him, but an assassin. And then she's just like, cool bet, I'll break my chains, and then now my hands are free. Yep. And then she just, like, she, like, sweeps the leg or some shit and just fucking, like, takes him to the ground. She's just so fast. It
hit just as she planned. The male sword fell short of his intended target, but hit precisely where she wished. In the center of the chains bound her hands. Iron snapped. Then the male sword was in her freed hand. Then his throat was spraying blood. Aelin whirled, slamming into the other soldiers who stood between her and freedom. Even as he ran for her, Lorcan could only gape at what unfolded. It's so good. So he's still trying to get to her. They're far away. Like, I'm telling you, they're not close to each other. Like, he sees her dip down, like, into a valley, and she's slowing. Like, she's tired. He notices that she's frail. She, like, obviously has been tortured.
He's not close enough
months.
to, like, physically help her get to him. But he is close enough to use his magic.
Yeah, he's just firing magic at the soldiers that are attacking her, pretty much.
She gets she, like, basically kills the first 10 dudes that converge on her. But then there's 6 more people that then show up and draw their weapons. And Lorcan lashes out with his magic. A lethal net of power that had those guards crashing to their knees, necks snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Which Aelin doesn't miss a fucking beat, doesn't give a shit how they died, just keeps going. Like, does not care at all. She's like, well, that was convenient. I'm gonna go.
Yeah. He keeps signaling to her, to me, like, run to me. Doesn't know if Aelin recognizes it or him, but she's still running towards him, which is all that matters. Like, she's still headed that way. Then start the onslaught of archers. Arrows flying at her, They're raining down. She's kind of zigzagging. They're missing. He's trying to like shoot them out of the sky so that they don't hit her, like with as much magic as he can. And then all of a sudden, a like glimmering like golden shield pretty much appears around her, as close to her as they can get it. And Gavriel is next to her. So he is running side by side with Aelin in his lion form, putting a golden shield around them, which she's covered in iron, so he can't get super close to her with that shield. But he is protecting both of them as they run the rest of the way. Then Rowan appears, of course. Rowan has this, like, mighty hawk scream and then gets to them. They all kind of converge together at, like, the top of this hill. The first thing she says is Fenrys, which is the most heartbreaking thing. Rowan has finally gotten to her, and he's like, I just want to be with you, my mate. And she points back at the camp and says Fenrys over and over again. Like, you have to go get him. So Rowan makes the decision of a lifetime and is like, I guess I'm going to leave my wife again. And says pretty much to Lorcan, like, you take her to the Glens, which is where Elide is. And Gavriel and I are going to go back. And so that's exactly what they do. And they're going to go back for Fenrys. This just, as shit is hitting the fan quickly. But Aelin's out of the box. She's with her people again. Which is all that matters. Is Aelin is with
Cairn's
her people.
still alive. Let's fix that.
So Rowan and Gavriel sneak back into the camp. It is in disarray. So, like, getting in is a fucking breeze from the last time, which was just a few minutes ago.
I mean, most people are dead now. So
yeah, there's a lot of people dead. They
let's
finally
add
get to the
a
tent.
couple more to the list, please.
Yes. They get to the tent. Rowan, like, pulses his magic into the tent to, like, kind of sense what's going on in there prior to, like, them entering, because we're still not going to enter into a place we don't know what's going on.
Smart.
And he, like, realizes there are two life forms, but they're unconscious. So him and Gavriel walk in. Fenrys and Cairn are unconscious. Gavriel goes straight to Fenrys and starts healing him immediately. Rowan then looks around the room and realizes this is where Aelin has been. Well, at least for the most recent.
Because they brought all the stuff
Yes,
with
they
them.
brought everything
So, like,
there.
they brought the coffin, they brought the altar, and he can, like, sense everything
He
from
can
it.
smell her
Because it's
blood.
Fae.
Yeah.
That he can smell, like, that she's had to relieve herself in the box, that she's bled in the box, that Fenrys has been around this whole time. And is just, like, walks in and sees, like, Fenrys bloodied on the ground, sees Cairn bloodied on the ground, and Gavriel, although going to Fenrys first to basically stabilize him, Rowan is like, get over here and heal him right now. Like, has him heal Cairn. Because, of course, it's more fun if he's fully healed to then torture him. Back to death, please.
Yep.
So he straps him to the table and then pulls out. I both hated and loved his choice of tool, because I hated that it existed and was there in the first place, but I love that it's the one he chose. He surveys the tools Cairn had laid out, the ones in the drawer. Carefully, thoughtfully, he selected one. A thin, razor-sharp knife, a healer's tool, meant for sleek incisions and scraping out rot. Cairn groaned as unconsciousness gave way. By the time Cairn awoke, chained to that metal table, Rowan was ready. Cairn beheld who stood over him, the tool in Rowan's tattooed hand, the others he had also laid out on that piece of velvet, and began thrashing, the iron chains held firm. Then Cairn beheld the frozen rage in Rowan's eyes, understood what he intended to do with that sharp, sharp knife. A dark stain spread across the front of Cairn's pants. Rowan wrapped an ice-kissed wind around the tent, blocking out all sound, and began. Fucking good, you vile sack of shit. Spoiler, he flays him alive and then kills
skins him alive. Yeah.
It's fucking great. And he deserved it. And I have 0 notes. I got no notes on the way that was executed. I'm pleased as fuck. Well done.
Beautifully executed.
He's dead. I'm so happy. So to further our happiness, now we go to Elide's POV, where she's just quietly sitting in the glen, waiting, and then Lorcan arrives with Aelin, and she, like, loses it mentally, internally, because she can't, obviously lose it to Aelin herself, but she's ecstatic. Aelin is, rightfully so, about 2 seconds away from a full fucking breakdown, and is screaming to get the chains and the mask off her, and they can't figure out how to get it off. Lorcan can't get it off. He tries with a dagger. She takes the dagger from him and tries with the dagger and breaks the dagger trying to do it. They can't figure out how to get it off. It's too risky to try to do basically what she did with the
sword situation.
Like the chain. Yeah, because, they could cut her head off, which would be pretty bad. Yeah. So they don't do
not want to do that.
Yeah. Rowan is the only one that's able to calm her down. And
at this point, she is, like, pulling at the mask, pulling at the chains, like, injuring herself.
She's having a full breakdown.
Trying to get them off.
He, like, is the only one that's able to calm her down. But it's, like, this is all in Elide's POV, and, like, Elide can see that although she is frozen and calm, she is, like, disassociating like crazy to be able to stay still for them to be able to get this off of her. It's just, like, they're making comments about how, like, they can see that she's, like, completely unscarred. Like, as they're, like, trying to figure out how to get this off, like, Rowan sees her back, and, like, Gabrielle and, like, Lorcan see it as well. And it's, like, she is untouched.
She no longer has the Endovier scars from being whipped. She doesn't have scars on her wrists from being chained. She doesn't have the scar on her hand from when they became Cairn. Like, she has nothing.
Yeah. So they're, like, surveying all of this, and she starts mouthing the word key. And she's like Elide's asking her questions of, like, where, like,
do you remember?
Don't worry about the other, like, don't worry about the other word key, thinking that she's talking about the word keys. And she like blinks at her, and Elide doesn't know what she means, because like, she's so used now to using that as her form of communication. But she basically talks about, like, word marks. She says she, like, starts drawing the word marks for opening, like, in the air, and, like, tracing them. And she can't do it herself because she has, like, she can't use her hands with the iron, like, gauntlet stuff that's on her. So she can't use it. She can't draw the word marks herself to release her. So she shows Rowan how to do them. And they're able to get the shackles off and get the mask off with Rowan doing the word marks.
With his own blood as well.
Yeah, to, like, get them off of her.
Because the big thing with the word marks, which we learned from Nehemia, is that you have to have magic in your blood to be able to do it.
Which was the other reason that they were, like, putting iron in her, and, like, putting iron in her food and stuff, because then it would be in her blood, and then she can't even use her own blood to be able to do it because it's got too much iron in it. They get everything off, and her body, like, bursts into fucking flames. Like, she just, all of her pent-up magic just, like,
finally releases.
Not all of it. Thankfully, not all of it, because I think it would just explode like a nuclear bomb and take everybody out.
Yeah,
but
it was like a little release valve. She just went, and it's just, like, sizzling out, and she's just now coated in flames. She just is a flame. She is fire at this point. They can't get, like, right next to her because she does have just, like, a layer of flame around her. But it is the only thing that is keeping her alive at this point, because she has to release all of the power that has been just like capped for so long and building up while she's been in this iron coffin.
And she tries to do it slowly. So she's like starting to let some of it out. All of her scars are gone. It's all new skin, which is horrifying. Because, you know, I think, this is when, because it burns all of her clothes away.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's just got no scars on her. She's completely untouched. And it's horrifying. Even
she
the scars...
realizes it too. Like, she starts looking down at her hands and, like, looking at everything.
Yeah.
She's also in this state of, like, because of all of the, like, mental turmoil that she's been through, she does not know if this is real. Like, she doesn't know if this is, like, another illusion that Maeve is putting into her head, so she thinks that she's alive and well and, like, safe. So she's still kind of, like, she does the typical, like, look at my hands, there aren't scars, this might not be real.
Yeah.
Like, these aren't my hands kind of thing.
Yeah. Gabriel comes over and tells them that Fenrys is, like, running out of time, because he healed him the best that he can, but he can't save him because of the blood
Yeah, he can only heal so much, unfortunately.
Aelin, still not really trusting, like, them or what's going on, goes over to Fenrys and, like, extends the fire around the both of them so that no one can get to her or Fenrys. And then they start talking to each other. Nobody can hear what they're saying. They just, like, have a conversation. Fenrys, like, opens his eyes enough to, like, understand the conversation, and they, like, blink back at each other in their own language.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
then
cute.
Aelin slices her forearm with his claw and offers him the blood oath.
I'm fine.
And
you're crying, not me.
He takes it,
Mm-hmm.
and then she commands him to live.
This broke me.
This whole time, they can't hear what they're saying until she says live. And then she says it again louder because
she curls
he didn't
up
fucking
next
listen.
to him and tells him to live. Like, my heart. She commands him with the blood oath to live. Like, you don't have a fucking choice, bro. You're getting up. That's it. My heart. I was so broken that Fenrys was gonna die. That they went through all of this and he was gonna die. And now, the first thing Rowan says to Fenrys as he stands up and bows to Aelin, and Aelin bows back at him, is, "Welcome to the court, pup." My heart.
It's so fucking cute.
Then, of course, they have to leave because we can't have a nice moment and just, like, be happy.
I mean, they did literally just, like, kind of fucking blow the shit out of that camp. And, yeah, they should definitely leave. They should absolutely 100% leave.
So, Elide is like, so which way are we gonna go, guys?
We gotta go! Don't know which way to go. It's fine. The little folk are here. Because they show up whenever nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And they're like, come, it's time to go. They save them. They literally take like, point them in the right direction. Also, like, I think it's Rowan's POV. No, it's somebody's POV.
Lorcan, I think.
Maybe. But he makes a comment that, like, this is some shit out of a goddamn storybook. The queen and the wolf walked side by side.
Oh, it's Rowan.
Wrapped in flames.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, being followed, like, and protected by the little folk of the forest. Which is, yeah. Hi, this is a fantasy book. Welcome. It's fucking dope. Rowan follows them, like, at a respectful distance.
Mm-hmm.
Because he knows that they've been through so much shit. And they take them, like, down, basically, like, into a cave system that opens into, like, a big space where they're able to, like, camp and hide for a little bit. Aelin just kind of like gets down there and then just goes to sleep. Like doesn't talk, doesn't do anything. She just like curls up in a ball and falls asleep.
What I love too is like as they're about to leave, so Elide's like, where are we going? The little folk show up.
Yeah.
And Aelin's kind of still in this trance. Like she did the thing she needed to do, which was save Fenrys, and now she's just kind of standing there in this trance. And it notes that Fenrys shifted his paw and like pretty much like rubbed his head on her arm of like, let's go. We can follow them. Like we can trust them. It's all so perfect and wonderful. But yeah, the first thing she does, she gets into this thing. It notes that they show up into the cave. She walks off with Fenrys. Fenrys kind of gives her a second. She walks up to the like little folk that are there, pretty much asks them a couple questions, deems that this place is safe enough for them, and then her and Fenrys walk off towards the fire, and she lays down and falls asleep. And then we're like, well, all right, sick, cool, we're safe, we're in a cave,
we're good, I guess, for now. We'll see what happens.
The last line is she laid down, pretty much. And then we're like,
yeah,
cool.
She took up a spot between the fire and the cave wall, laid upon the bare stones, and closed her eyes.
We made it out. We're alive. We're not in chains anymore. No more iron. Rowan still doesn't know what's going on, but it's fine. He trusts her and trusts the little folk. Lorcan's like, can we trust these people? What if it's just a trap? And Elide's like, I'm gonna follow her no matter what. I trust the little folk. You can get fucked.
Rowan is literally like, they saved her before. Chill. Like, we're good. This is not the first time this has happened. This is a normal occurrence, basically.
Yes.
It's fine. We're good. Now we go back to Dorian, whose eyes were round for 3 days because he couldn't figure out how to turn them back.
Pretty much.
He's like, I did it! Shit! I don't know how to fix it!
Pretty much the whole, like, beginning
which he
part
gets teased about mercilessly because the ladies found his blue eyes so beautiful and they were really upset that he didn't have his blue eyes anymore. And then when they finally came back, they were ecstatic.
Dramatically bemoaning the absence of his pretty bluebell eyes and had sighed to the heavens when the sapphire hue had returned.
This is Astrid and Vesta, and they give him so much. It's like he has gotten 12 new sisters, and it's so good. Oh my god.
He has 12 older sisters, but all just like slightly bullying him.
They're just always shitting on him. It's so great. I mean, I don't think that they are gonna forgive him for him having tricked them, like, more than once, and they all fucking know. Like, I think they all have realized that he's the one that's been fucking with their saddles or whatever whenever they were trying to get onto the fucking shit.
I don't think
get
they
away.
know. But it was such a, like,
so
innocent way to delay them, too, which is the funniest thing.
You just cause a little mischief here and there. It's fine.
Like you said, he's finally able to get his eyes back to blue. Then he wasn't able to do it again. So he immediately tries again to, like, back to brown eyes. Unable to do it. It takes a while. What really gets him to, like, finally... We learned that, like, he freed his magic when he, like, was talking to Manon and kind of was, like, letting little bits go of, like, what he's holding on to, like, harboring inside of him. And what does it again is Glennis pretty much asks him, like, why this incessant need to, like, try to change your appearance right now? Like, who are you trying to turn into and who do you wish to be? And he hadn't really asked himself that question of, like, he then, of course, was, like, looking inwardly and was like, I want, like, he kind of says under his breath that he wants to be a king that his friends are proud of. and that his friends can trust, which is like such a heartwarming thing. He then changes and has green eyes and like golden hair. Of course, all of the witches are like, oh no, go back to where you look pale and sickly, stop. And then he goes back to like his normal appearance, which I also think is funny. It's yeah, they pretty much just tease him. He's still trying to figure out like how
the
to
fact that
control
his
it.
eyes, green eyes and golden hair, is like
Aelin.
pretty close to the Ash Reverse.
Yeah.
Which like, and he does it like kind of unconsciously. It just makes me want to cry. Because he wants to be a queen or a king that they all respect, and what pops into his brain is someone that looks like Aelin. Good. I'm glad she gets the recognition she doesn't get from Chaol.
She does now. It just took a little while, but Dorian's been giving her.
Chaol has to be nice to her for the rest of his life, okay? Because she saved his wife now, so he is nothing
he
can stand on ever.
Yeah.
You can't be mean to her ever.
Also, we get no updates of Chaol, Yrene, Nesryn, Sartaq.
Yeah, there's nothing
section.
in this.
There's nothing about them.
Look, I planned these out. I gave you real good content. This episode.
This is fantastic.
We're fine.
Oh,
it's gonna be fine.
No issues. I have zero issues with the fact that we are just in we are current stasis. Chaol, Yrene, Nesryn, Sartaq are readying Anielle. Yeah. We're just in stasis mode. Nothing bad is happening in their little bubble currently. Yep. They're preparing for bad, but nothing bad is happening at this exact
We're just
moment.
going back to basically in the tandem read where we're only reading Empire Storms right now. Tower Dawns later. Next episode.
We can panic next section about Anielle and all of them and the Ruks, and if we're gonna get back to the dam situation that I'm still scared of.
Right now, everybody's still alive. We're good.
Yes. So Glennis doing Glennis things. Glennis is asking all of the questions to like get Manon to start thinking, to get the 13 to start thinking, to get Dorian to start thinking. Glennis is like out here, the like grandmother that everyone needs, being like, you need to look inwardly at yourself to figure out the answer to that question. And so she's like poking and prodding them of like, hey 13, have you guys ever seen the Wastes? Have you ever gone there? And they're like, no. Astrid says she got close once, but wasn't able to. And Manon and Sorrel realized that was when Astrid met her love and was pregnant and all that. And then they, of course, were like, have you? And Glennis is like, no, the Krakens haven't been either. But it's because we're scared to see what remains. Like that the Wastes are no longer the place that we left originally. Because the whole idea is that the Krakens cursed it and everything died. When the, like, Iron Teeth came in.
It's very much like we don't want to tempt fate. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so the Krakens have kind of
we know we're not supposed to go back yet. So like, why make it worse? If we could make it worse, we're just gonna stay here.
So the little thing. So we put the thought bubble into Dorian's mind of like, who do you want to be? Like, what is your goal with this? And then we have to put the little thought bubble into Manon's brain of a plan, perhaps, for when this is over, of what the Wastes will become. Like, maybe you having a plan would be wise, instead of just kind of, like, hoping for the best.
I was watching a TV show the other day, and this, like, very similar thing happened, where they were all building up to, like, being able to take the crown from someone else. And then one of the people in the court, after they've done it, makes the comment of, we didn't do a lot of planning of what was going to happen after we got the crown. So, like, everyone's a little chaotic right now. And I feel like this is a really good point, because it did make me think of, like, oh, yeah, wait. Can we... we get it. We know what the objective is. We know what the goal is. We've got a lot of steps to get there. But, like, do we have a plan for what the after looks like?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I feel like Aelin's the only one that ever has some sort of after plan. Not that she shares it with everybody, but she does have plans for what comes next.
Yeah.
Plans
so
on
this
plans
is
on plans.
really putting a seed into Manon's mind of, like, very similar to, like, her asking Dorian what happens in the end to anyone that has any type of Volg blood that maybe has been here, meaning, like, the witches.
She
and so
literally
now
says, a plan perhaps would be wise.
Yeah. So good.
A powerful thing to have. God damn it.
Mm-hmm.
Glennis is so smart.
So yeah, the seed is now in Manon's brain of, like, okay, once we win this war, it's not just the Iron Teeth that are going to go back to the Wastes. If you plan to, like, have the Krakens on your side too, like, how are you going to unify these two groups of people or witches? Mm-hmm. Like, maybe we should think that through a little bit instead of just,
We're
like,
already struggling with just the 13 and the group we have. So,
yeah.
All of this conversation gets interrupted because the shadows return and are like, we went to the rendezvous point and everyone's dead. So
yeah, they went and scouted ahead, pretty much.
Yeah. Not great.
No. They were too late.
They had been late. Not by an hour or a day. No, judging by the state of the bodies in the leaf-strewn clearing 20 miles south, the week they had been delayed had cost the Eyllwe warband everything. And Dorian looks at Manon and just it doesn't really necessarily say that he looks at her accusingly, but more of just, like, almost making sure she recognizes that this was the cost. Like, mm-hmm. Not in a judgmental way or in, like, a whatever, but just, like, this is the consequences of the actions that you have when you make those kinds of decisions. So,
yeah.
And which I thought was, like, I liked that, and I thought that was totally fair.
Yeah, he's really giving her a lesson in, like, this is how, what's great, the best part is this whole time, Dorian is giving Manon a lesson in, like, how to be a queen.
Yeah.
Because he's a king.
She gets queen lessons from him the whole time they're together. It's awesome.
Meanwhile, internally, he doesn't see himself as a good king.
Yeah.
He is acting as if how Aelin would act towards people in, like, kind of sharing information. He is a great king already. The fact that he doesn't think himself as perfect, step one of how to be a good mm-hmm. ruler. Do not think you're the only person that can make a decision, and you are right all the time. Number one. 2, like, share information with people. Help make people better. So, like, he's going and, like, helping Manon figure out how to do this stuff because he's been around it his whole life. It's just...
And this section is where I feel like she makes, like, one of the first very big
mm-hmm.
decisions that she does as a ruler, not actually thinking about what she needs to do as a ruler, but makes, like, a human decision. And they're like, so they're surveying the damage basically much, yeah. And Bronwyn, who's one of the Krakens that hates her,
mm-hmm. I think it's like ends up being
her
cousin or something.
Her half sister was, like, the most close to the one that Manon had killed. Mm-hmm. She's blaming them. She's like, how is anyone supposed to, like, fight against what you guys have trained? Like, she's putting all of the blame on Manon for the devastation and how brutal and vicious they are, because they are the ones that trained these mm-hmm. witches that are now coming after them, the other, like, teams of wyverns and witches that are coming around. And she doesn't respond, like, to it. Dorian offers up to like fill the silence, basically, to burn them, to, like, lay them to rest. And Manon says, no, don't burn them. She gets on her knees and she starts digging with her hands into the dirt.
Yeah, she
And
pretty much,
then
it's the first
Astrid-
time she, like, lets out her iron, like, nails.
Yeah, she
and starts-
unsheaths her nails
Yeah.
and starts digging. Astrid then gets on her knees and starts digging. Sorrel and Vesta get on her knees and start digging. All of the 13 get on their knees and dig. One, Catherine, who is the one that we were talking about earlier with the
wyvern
broom.
Yeah.
She gets on her knees to start digging, and Manon says, no. Only the 13. She will not let anyone else help. Only the 13. We will bury them. We will bury them all. And they continue to dig and bury all of the witches that died. It takes hours.
Yeah, they
And
dig the entire, like, into the next day.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Dorian is doing the king thing, like the normal, like, let's maybe tell the king and queen of Eyllwe what happened here today. So they send a messenger. I think the shadows end up going, or two witches end up going on their brooms to the king and queen. They come back with a message saying, like, we will continue fighting. We've been fighting this whole time. They don't.
But we can't go with you.
Yeah,
like,
and Dorian
we will fight here.
Yeah, they'd never asked for them to come. They didn't request for aid. They just wanted to let them know, like, what happened on their soil, which is fair.
Yeah.
The king and queen
Before
are like,
they
we don't
got
have
there,
any extra people
before
to
they
help
got
send
there,
to
they
you.
were hoping that maybe it would be like 1,000 at most. But like, this is more than they thought could have been wiped out from what they knew previously. So
while this is all happening, this is when Dorian has, like, made the decision that he needs to go to Morath. And he's like, this can't happen anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, this is his breaking point. Fenris's breaking point was seeing Aelin, like, show some sign of despair, which is, like, something he's never seen on her. This is his, like, I can't see innocent things, like, dying anymore. Like, I can't see witches just being wiped out for no reason. Like, we need to stop this. And so he slips away to create a summoning circle again. And he does his little thing. He sticks Damaris in the ground. And guess what? Caltane shows up.
It's
She's
not
like, hey,
Gavin.
bud. Hey, bud, how's it going? And he's like, I don't think I called you. And she goes, but didn't you? And points to the knife, like, in the ground. We love Caltane.
I didn't summon you. Caltane's dark eyes slid towards Damaris, jutting from the circle of word marks. Didn't you? So good.
Ugh.
He says, I'm sorry. And she's like, what for?
Oh,
and
for
he
whatever
basically
for.
explains he feels sorry because he feels like he could have done more. Because he knew that she was in the dungeon. He knew that once, like, he didn't do anything when she was in the dungeon. And then once she was taken from the dungeon, he knew that she was taken to Morath. And he was just kind of happy to let her not have... He doesn't have to deal with her anymore because she's gone. She's been taken to Morath. And she also says, I was not wholly blameless, you know. And he says, what happened to you in Morath is in no way your fault. And she says, no, it wasn't. But I made choices of my own going to Rifthold last autumn in pursuing my ambition for you, your crown. I regret some of them. He thanks her for saving all of their friends, which is so nice. And she makes a comment that basically, like, she knows who Aelin is. Mm-hmm. She says, death has its advantages. Because he's like, how do you know that? He asks if it's better there, if she's at peace. And she says, I'm not allowed to say. And I'm not allowed to say who dwells here.
She anticipated him asking.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, she gets to the point where she's like, you summoned me for a reason.
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
get
let's
on
go.
with
Chop,
it.
chop. Can't answer
I've
any of
given
your other
you
questions.
all of the things
What did
that
you
I can.
actually want?
Yeah. So he pretty much asks, am I ready? Am I ready to go to Morath? And she says, only you are the one that knows that. He's like, I can't shift. He also asks her about being kind of tied to a Volg and like, how did you survive? And she said, I raged against it. I didn't think I deserved it. And so I knew that if I pushed past this thing, I would survive it. And so she did, which is fantastic. She also tells him, when you go, only go for one thing. Do not go and try to save other people. Do not go and try to fight Erewhon. Do not linger. Get the thing you're there for and leave. And like, that is the one thing she says, like, be quick, Dorian. Do not fight him. Retrieve the key and nothing more. He makes a comment, but I can't shift yet. And she says something along the lines of like, can't you? And then disappears. She's like, see ya.
I would like to point out that of all of the people that have appeared in these stupid summonings, Kaltain is the most useful!
Yes. At least helpful.
She's also like, I can't tell you the answer to that. Like, just, they won't let me. Not like, there's a vague riddle that doesn't actually give you the fucking answer, but also doesn't say I'm not allowed to tell you.
No, she's like, they won't let me. Who won't let you? Can't tell you that either. I'm just telling you that I can't tell you that.
Here's what I got, bro. I will give you as much information as I can, but there are limits to this situation.
Ask more questions. I will answer the ones I can. Let's go. Chop, chop.
Like, I was so happy when we got the, like, Nehemia chapters of, like, getting to, like, what felt like close that out in a better way and get more information about that. I remember reading this for the first time and being like, Kaltain! Yes! Oh my god! Oh! It
She
feels
made
like
her
the perfect
final
little,
stand
like,
with Elide.
like, little wrap it up with a bow and we're good now.
Yeah. I loved that she was able to give a message to Elide for Aelin to like thank her for her kindness.
For Selena, and then she finds out when she's dead that she's Aelin. It's so good.
Yeah. And then now she's like, hey bud. So like, I'm here to help you. And he even says like, I never thought to summon you, who spent all of this time at Morath. And she's like, what'd you think I just like was destroyed? And he goes, I don't know. I thought something bad happened.
She does like basically say like, you didn't think anything was left to summon?
Well,
yeah, kinda. Yeah, a little bit. Yes,
like,
mostly that.
I didn't know if there was anything.
Also, there ain't no way Dorian would have thought to summon her.
No, absolutely not. He's
smart, but he's not that smart.
He like checked her off the list a long time ago. After she leaves, he kind of like releases some of this magic. He realizes that like this magic is different. He has to like look at it differently and like treat it differently, and he transforms into a raven, which is sick. And then Manon is just chilling in the shadows. He hears something and she's kind of like leaning up against a tree, watching what just occurred. He changes back and she's like, so when were you gonna inform me that you were gonna go to Morath for the third key there, bud? And that's where that ends. And we're like, oh no, Manon's
also pissed. On this one, 0 notes. No notes whatsoever. This is the great way to end this chapter. I have no problems whatsoever with not knowing what happens next. Let's let that simmer. Dorian can sit in being uncomfortable for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
He needs to learn that he can't do the same shit Aelin does. Please, God.
We are now with Aedion and our soldiers. They are trying their best to hold the line. Like, they are up against 50,000 Bog soldiers at this point. Not great. Lysandra is wyvern form to take out Ilkin. She's ghost leopard form to take out some of the foot soldiers. Like, she's swapping back and forth, all of these things. And this is when Aedion notates that people are asking questions. Where is Aelin? Why is she not helping? Why is there no fire? Why is she not even just lighting torches for us to be able to see through the night while we're fighting? Because they're fighting day and night. There is no stop at this point. They keep getting pushed back a little bit more every day. Galen at this point is saying, hey, we need to retreat. Like, we are losing too many men too fast. Like, we are not equipped for what we are up against. It's not great. Essentially, they're looking at a map, Ren, Galen, Aedion, and they're trying to figure out, like, what their next move is. They note, or Aedion notes, the Lannis River, which is kind of at the edge of Paranth, and how it's winter and it'll be frozen over. And so their goal is to get their army across the river while it's frozen, and then have the Fey warriors melt it with their power, like with their magic, as the Volk soldiers approach, so that the Volk soldiers can't get to them. They'll still have to deal with the flying army of Ilkin, because they can fly, but at least that will cut their numbers, hopefully pretty drastically, and give them some kind of leg up while they're waiting for the remainder of Ansel's army. They also still have not heard from Rolf. Rolf has not. We don't know if Rolf has gotten the Mycenaeans to, like, rally with him. We don't know if he took the money and ran. Like, we don't know anything. We have not heard from him or his army. So at this point, Aedion is not banking on Rolf showing up at any point in time. So he can only do with what he has. We don't have Aelin. We don't have Rowan. We don't have Dorian. We don't have, like, our 3 power magic guys. Like, we don't have them fighting in this war right now. We just have, like, he has to pretty much make the decision as if it was within the 10 years that magic didn't exist. Like, he has to essentially, like, make all of these decisions again. Lysandra at some point stumbles in to his tent. And Ansel is like, she is in her, like, horse form. She's in, like, a different form where she, like, hits the top of the tent and then, like, remembers that she has to transform back into a person. And so she does that, and it takes all of her energy. She's fucking tired because obviously she's been fighting. She's been shifting repeatedly to, like, take out whatever she needs to take out. So Aedion pretty much puts out the alert, like, we are going to retreat. They've decided they're going to retreat. He tells Ansel to tell her troops, like, he spreads the message out. They all kind of, like, disband and go and do their thing. While this is happening, while they're retreating, we switch to Lysandra's point of view. She has consciously made the decision to shift into a horse because there is a dying man that she chooses to haul. Unfortunately, at some point he passes and is, like, he was bleeding out the whole time, and so because it's winter, he, like, freezes to her, which is awful. They finally get to, like, the second camp that they have made, and 2 of the silent assassins finally realize, like, that this man is just stuck to her. So they get warm water and start to, like, clean her up and bathe her to get him off of her. and then they like give him a proper burial. And she makes the note of like, these men may not know what I am. They might not know anything about shifters. They might know that I am a shifter and that I can be like whatever, but they still are so kind and like caring towards me. Like, she always makes these notes of like, in this war scenario, it doesn't matter who she is. It doesn't matter if she's a lady. It doesn't matter if she's a shifter. It doesn't matter if she was a courtesan at some point in time. Like, they treat her with the same respect that they're treating everyone else in the camp, which is always so heartbreaking because, like, then, of course, Aedion's an asshole to her. And we're like, this is her favorite place to be right now because it's the only time she's being treated well, except for Aedion, who's being an asshole. And we're like, God damn it, Aedion, can you just make this... Give her one thing? She deserves one thing.
After she gets basically cleaned off, she finds Aedion's tent and walks in and finds Galen, Ansel, and Ren all standing in there as well. And they all just stare at her with like weird faces. And she realizes that she's still a horse.
Yeah, she like turns her head and like hits it on something.
Fuck.
And she's like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm a horse.
Right, okay, I'm a horse. And like struggles to find the thread to turn back into her human body. And then they all just kind of stare at her while she like fights to get back to being a human. And
Ansel gives her like a cloak, and Ren is like, I'm gonna go get you food. Like, I'm gonna go figure something out.
Is standing there, and they're all staring at her, and Ansel's the first one to speak and asks like where she's been. And she has like, she's no words. She's so tired. Aedion basically gives her the same order as everyone else. We will move an hour before dawn, that they're gonna retreat and go back. The rest of them leave, Ren saying that he's gonna go find some food for her. And then Aedion just fucking goes off for no reason whatsoever. He calls her plan bullshit, specifically saying that it's your plan. Your plan was bullshit. How could you ever be her, wear her skin, and think to get away with it? How could you ever think you could get around the fact that our enemies are counting on you, that our armies are counting on you to burn the enemies to ashes, and all you can do is run away and emerge as some beast instead? You don't get to pin this retreat on me, she rasped, the first words she'd spoken in days and days. You agreed to let Aelin go to her death, to leave us here to be slashed to bloody ribbons. You two told no one of this plan, told no one who might have explained the realities of this war, and that we would need a goddamn firebringer, and not an untrained, useless shapeshifter against Morath. If you were so willing to let Aelin die, then you should have let her do it after she incinerated Erewhon's hordes. It would not have stopped Maeve from capturing her. If you told us, we might have planned differently, acted differently, and we would not be here, damn you. Throw me out of your army, then. You ruined everything, you and her. Get out of my tent.
Meanwhile, she just shifted from being a horse, so she is naked. She has just the cloak that Ansel gave her. And it is snowing outside. So she leaves his tent, saying nothing.
She says nothing the whole time. He says,
get out.
She says her, like, it's per POV, so it says fight back. She should fight back, rage at him as he lashed at her, needing an outlet for his fear and despair. But she just stares at him and then just leaves barefoot and naked under a cloak and like walks out into the snow. And then Ren gets back and is fucking pissed. I wanted Ren to just like punch him or something. Like, what the fuck?
Ren comes in and goes,
what have you done?
Where is she? What have you done? and then he goes after her. We don't know
Ren
where she's
does.
gone. Yeah, Ren goes after
Ren
her.
goes after her, not
Aedion
Aedion.
stands
I need to
there
make that
staring
fucking
into
clear.
the fire.
Because
Yeah.
he fucking just...
He makes the note also. Aedion makes the note internally. Aedion didn't notice when Ren left, undoubtedly in search of the shifter with whom he was so damned enamored. He should summon his Bane commanders, see how they thought to manage this disaster, but he couldn't. Could do nothing but stare into the fire as the long night passed. He has to make the comment that, like, oh, Ren, of course, went to go find her because he's so enamored with her. It's like, no, he's just not a piece of shit. He actually, you know, this person who has been fighting in this war with you, alongside you, and you're just gonna throw her to the curb like she's nothing. That's where we leave Aedion and Lysandra. I am just hoping that Ren found her and gave her food and shelter and kept her comfy and safe. Because that's all I can handle right now. It's that Ren found her. Or Ansel found her. Or someone she's gonna be.
I feel
she's
like
with
at
Sol
any...
and Ravi. She's with people. She didn't leave.
At any given point, there's just one person really pissing me off.
Right now it's Aedion.
And it's not the enemy. It was Chaol.
For a really long time.
At one point, we were annoyed with Dorian. I don't think we were ever, like, angry.
No, I was never angry
with
at Dorian. There were times where he was doing stupid shit, and I was like, hello.
for sure. Rowan for a little bit in the middle when you first meet him, because he really just fucking goes at Aelin.
Yeah.
He's such an asshole, but they both are, so whatever.
Yeah.
And then Aedion. Which is one I didn't see coming, to be completely honest.
Yeah. Yeah. This whole book so far has been Aedion just pissed. But
he's just being an asshole.
The thing is, he is ultimately pissed because Aelin kept things from him. However, he is taking out that anger on Lysandra, as if Lysandra is the one that made the decision.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't be mad
Even
at
if
Aelin because she's given
Lysandra...
her entire life up for everyone. So let me point my anger, which is technically because Aelin's making these decisions, towards Lysandra, because she was part of the conversation.
Even if Lysandra didn't agree, she still wouldn't have been able to do anything about it, because it's her queen. Like, I just...
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's whatever.
So we wrap up with Aedion and Lysandra and Ren and all of them. They are making their way to Peranth. That is where they're
Anon's pissed. Aedion's pissed.
Yeah. Manon has a right to be pissed. Aedion, we are mad at him because he's taking it out on Lysandra. He's being shitty about it. Manon's like, hey, like, were you just gonna not tell me you were gonna just dip and go to Morath by yourself? Maybe, like, I could give you a plan, like, tell you the layout of the fucking place because I've been there before. But,
I
like,
wish Lysandra were pissed. Unfortunately, she's just sad, which breaks my fucking heart.
Yeah, she's heartbroken at this point. She loves him. Like,
she's just so tired, too. Like, she is trying so hard.
She's doing
and he's
her best.
Just like, this is all your fault. Dude, Okay.
Doesn't make any sense. So we flash back to Aelin, because we have to wrap up what they're doing right now. So they are in the cave with the little folk. She wakes up. She has slept for a while to, like, recharge. Her power is still kind of simmering, but there's no more pressure that's all built up. She and Fenrys have kind of, like, separated themselves from the group a little. So it's like the two of them are laying near each other. Because right now, Fenrys is the only truth that she trusts in this scenario. She still thinks everything else is an illusion. Because he's been by her side from the very beginning. And when
the
Maeve...
other thing that grounds her is the only scar that exists on her body currently, which is where she sliced herself to give him the blood oath. Oh, it's so beautifully poetic. I love it.
She
the
has
only
her
things
flame
that feel
kind of around
real
the two of them too.
are him and the thing that she used to save him. It's so great.
She does note that the prince is laying near as close as he could get pretty much to her fire, because she's pretty much made a barrier around her and Fenris to protect the two of them even while she slept. Like, it's just they're in this little like fire bubble, and Rowan is as close to that fire as humanly possible without dying. He can't go in it, and he refuses. He's not going to, like, after everything she's been through, the one thing he says is, like, I'm not pushing past her fire. Like, I'm capable of doing so. I have, like, pretty much the counter magic to her fire. So I could, in theory, walk through her protective bubble. But I'm gonna let her heal the way she needs to heal and come to the way she needs to come to. I'm not gonna be like Maeve and force myself in. It's, like, kind of one of the internal dialogues he has, which I think is fantastic. She has to keep telling herself, he came for me, he showed up for me, like, this is my husband, he is Rowan Whitethorn Galathinius. Like, she has to, like, say these things to herself over and over to, like, believe the situation
takes
she's
her
in.
last name.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
It's fantastic. She lets the, like, little flame bubble shrink a little bit, and she approaches him while he's sleeping, Rowan. And as if summoned, he wakes up to her, like, kind of being there, and he says Aelin to her. And then asks,
like, in, like, it's like as a silent question. Like, in her mind, which she's, like, not ready to, like, open that part yet, but still, like, hears the question.
And instead of, like, pushing her, he uses his magic to, like, rub up against her magic of, like, hey, I'm here, like, this is real. And she, in her mind, notes that never happened in one of the illusions that Maeve portrayed. Like, at no point could I feel his magic, which helps kind of, like, bring her into this, like, this is reality, this is my mate. And it, like, plays over him saying, I am your mate. Oh, it's just,
and it's like, it's not just that his magic, the way that it's written is, like, it's more than just that she hasn't been able to feel his magic, but that her magic has responded in joy to his. Like, that part of her magic responding has only happened when it's been real. Her magic cannot be fooled.
Yes.
By some of Maeve's bullshit. Her magic is like, nah, bitch, I know what you are. Fuck you. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's so
I will only sing for one man, and that man is Rowan. And I will not be fooled.
The first thing Aelin asks him is if he's alive, referring to Cairn, and Rowan is like,
nope.
No, and I'm sorry that I didn't bring him here for you to kill. And he, like, goes into this kind of, like, panic spiral of, like, oh, I killed him and didn't let her kill him. But don't worry, I didn't forget how you wanted him to die. And he said,
I need to read his quote of what he says.
Okay, I was going
because
to.
It's
go ahead.
So good. You can read it if you want to, but it makes me really happy.
She asks how, and Rowan says, you once told me at Mistward that if I ever took a whip to you, then you'd skin me alive. His eyes didn't stray from hers as he said with lethal quiet, I took it upon myself to bestow that fate on Cairn on your behalf. And when I was done, I took the liberty of removing his head from his body and then burning what remained. A pause. A ripple of doubt. I'm sorry I didn't give you the chance to do it yourself.
Yes.
He, of course, goes into a slight, like, panic spiral of, I couldn't risk bringing him here or risk leaving him alive. And she just says, I'm glad. I'm glad he's dead. Honestly, I'm glad it turned out that Rowan did it. Because even, like, thinking back to Aelin coming to, like, from Selena to Aelin, she had regrets of, like, all of the killing she did. And, like, the things she did when she had to, like, be Selena. That, like, I think this helped release a little bit of that, like, she had to go back into her Selena mindset to survive. So him killing Cairn, I think it just, like, helped her soul a little. Of, like, yes, he got the justice that he needed, but it wasn't necessarily at my hand. Like, I didn't necessarily have to do it and have that, like, guilt on me. I don't know. It felt very, like, she was relieved that it happened and that she didn't have to do it herself. Like, there was a person there to, like, take on that burden.
I just think it's I like that it's just over. Like, she doesn't have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like okay, now I have to go muster the strength to be. Yeah, because if she did it, she probably would have had to do it as Selena.
Mm-hmm. She wouldn't have been able to do it as Aelin. She would have had to go back into, like, she was in her assassin mindset. Like, she put on the mask of Selena when she was fighting her way out. And anytime she did that, anytime she came back and, like, went back into her, like, Aelin being, she always kind of regretted the things she had to do to survive. I don't know. It felt like this little piece of, like, he was bridging the gap between Selena and Aelin and, like, helping, I don't know, keep her whole.
Yeah.
It felt very nice to me. Even though, like, Cairn needed to die, like, and she was happy he died, and I'm also happy he died.
I just like that he just got completely dismantled on the same table. So, I don't care. I think if she'd done it, she still would have done it in a cool way, but I'm very satisfied with the way that he did it, so I'm good with it.
Mm-hmm. He, of course, asks, "Can I hold you?" And she, like, takes a step back. Like, it's too much too fast. She's just now getting in this mindset of, like, this is real. This is Rowan. This is my husband. So then she's like, I need to clean this off of me. Like, I need to clean just everything off of me. So he offers her kind of, like, bathing cloths, and, like, there's a, like, warm bath over here, and she walks directly to the giant lake in the middle. And of course Rowan's like, that's really cold. Like, you're gonna hit
there's,
that,
like,
and you're
scary
gonna die.
shit in there. So she's like, I'm fine.
We don't know what's
thanks.
in there. And she's just like, don't. She just keeps walking. And then
the water is barely above freezing.
Yes. And it simmers when she gets into it. And steams. And he has this, like, second of, he didn't know if she wanted to protect him from her heat because she was, like, overheating, or if she actually wanted to, like, clean off just everything that occurred previously. So she's swimming. She's doing her thing. She's cooling off. She's dipping under the water and, like, letting out bursts of her power because her power needs to release still. Like, she's still got a lot of power kind of built up in her body. So she releases it underwater in a safe way so she can't, like, hurt anyone around her. She can't hurt the little folk. She can't hurt her friends. She asks at one point if he'll join her, and not in, like, a sexy join me way, in, like, a just be near me. Like, that was her olive branch of, like, yeah, I'm okay. And he kind of is like, I'd love to, but, like, unfortunately, I don't have magic to protect myself from that ice water that you're in currently. Which I think is a nice little, like, tit for tat that they give each other. In this, like, they're still it's like they have to relearn to talk to each other because she's in this weird mindset right now because she doesn't know if it's real, and he doesn't want to, like, come on too strong of, like, you're my person, touch me right now, I need to hold you.
She tells him that she didn't break and that she didn't tell him anything. And I love the because this is in Rowan's POV. And it says, she didn't say it for praise to boast, but rather to tell him, her consort, of where they stood in this war, what their enemies might know. I loved that bit.
He said,
He says, I knew you wouldn't. Yeah. And then this is when she starts to tell him, like, what has happened to her. She talks about that she messed with her head. Like, she would go in and create these dreams, that she would, like, make these fantasies to try to trick her. And then, like, all while being tortured by Cairn and, like, not being able to know what was real or not. She talks about her, like, the reason that they, like, would heal her scars so that she would not know what did or didn't happen. They, like, grew her hair out long. Like, her hair is long because the healers would grow her hair out so that she didn't know, like, how long she'd been there.
They also, she didn't know if it was, like, because they were trying to convince her she was there for a longer period of time, or if the healers just couldn't remember how long her hair was.
He asks if she wants him to cut it to where it was the last time he saw her. And she says, no, I want to remember. Which I'm like, yep, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I would also be like, nope, so anything that's different, I need to keep, please. Because it makes me remember that, like, something has changed.
Yeah. It's the scars all over again. It's just she wants something to remember this.
Something different.
Yeah.
Then they start to talk about Maeve and the collar. So this part breaks my heart. She talks about the fact that she had been moved is because Maeve was going to retrieve a collar that she was going to put on her. And, like, that's why I left. That's why I fought, because she had moved me. She let him read the words she could not say in that silent way they'd always been able to communicate. Escape wasn't my intention. No, Fireheart, he breathed, shaking his head, horror creeping over him. There was no collar. She blinked, head angling. That was a dream, too. His heart cracked as he struggled for the words, made himself voice them. No, it was real, or Maeve thought it was, but the collars, the Vogue presence, it was a lie that we crafted to draw Maeve out, hopefully away from you and Doranelle. There was no collar? Rowan lowered himself to his knees and shook his head. Aelin, if I'd known what she'd do with the knowledge, what you'd decide to do. He might have lost her, not from Maeve or the gods or the lock, but from his own damned choices, the lie he'd spun.
Aelin drifted beneath the surface again, so deep that when the flare happened, it was little more than a flutter. Because she, like, let out a bunch of magic again.
Yeah.
He apologizes. Because he's recognizing now that, like, his lie he said so that he could maybe be able to get her added to her torment and fear in those moments that he scented when he went through the tent. But she, of course, says, if you had not planted that lie for Maeve, if she had not told me, I don't think we'd be here right now. I would not, like, essentially she would not have tried to escape and she wouldn't have found them. Like, there's a very good chance that, like, Cairn would have done more and maybe Rowan wouldn't have gotten to him, or Cairn would have gotten alerted before Rowan could have gotten to her. Like, so many other scenarios could have happened. And it, of course, is the Aelin way to be like, okay, I see what happened there. But it's fine. We wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for that. She asks, she's like, kind of about everybody too, of course, because she gives a shit.
She's getting like, a bunch of clarity on, like, all of the shit that she would need to know, but also, like, this is what they told me. Like, you have to tell me what's real and what's not.
Mm-hmm.
his response is basically, Lysandra has been thorough, it seems.
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
she
'cause-
basically asks, like, she says that Maeve has said that, like, you were in the north, like,
I didn't
like
think you were
faking that
coming.
you were up there. She's, like, the way that she responds makes it sound like she feels guilty for believing her, which is so sad.
Yeah, she says,
But
I believed her. It sounded like a confession somehow. So Rowan found himself saying, I told you once that even if death separated us, I would rip apart every world until I found you. Did you really believe this would stop me? She pursed her mouth, and at last, those agonizing emotions began to surface. You were supposed to save Terrasen. Considering that the sun shines, I'd say Erewhon hasn't won yet, so we'll save it together. It's the together thing again from book, 3? Where at the end of it, they end the whole book with, we'll do it together. They're back together.
you should
now.
have gone to Terrasen. It needs you. I need you more. He didn't balk from the stark honesty roughening his voice. And Terrasen will need you too. Not Lysandra masquerading as you, but you.
Mm. They talked about Maeve raising her army and that they didn't know if she was raising her army against Erewhon or to then attack them once they're finished dealing with Erewhon. We have not touched on the fact that Aelin knows that Maeve is Volg, or at least there's some trickle.
I
there's
can't
a little
wait
seed,
for that to come up.
There's a little seed in her brain of Maeve being Volg. We haven't like admitted it yet. She still doesn't believe
I truly
it fully.
can't remember what happens, but I don't think that, which is why, like, I don't think that it's actually going to come up until
Chaol and
until they get back.
Yeah.
I think that they come back and then, like, in that conversation or whatever, she's like, because people probably don't fucking believe them, and she's like, no, wait, hold on, this makes sense. I remember this one thing. I thought that was not real.
So they're having this conversation, and meanwhile, Rowan looks up, and there's a boat coming their way in
She's
this
like, please
cave.
get out of the water. Can you please get out of the water now?
Pulled by two creatures. He doesn't know what they are, and he's like, it's time to get out of the water, please.
Get out.
And she's like, all right. And just starts strolling out, like, no concern. She has zero concerns with what's happening behind her. She gets out of the water. Turns out the boat is fine. Everything's safe. I panicked slightly and was like, oh God, what's happening?
It's fine. It's from the little folk. We'll be okay.
The little folk offered a boat to them and pretty much said to Aelin that the only way out back to the sea is through the caves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they have a waterway, I guess, that connects directly to the sea. So that's the plan. Lorcan is like,
Lorcan needs to learn just to not speak, okay? Like, I don't dislike him right now. Like, I think he did great. He saved her. But for the sake of yourself, bro, just fucking shut up, okay? Because he's like,
and I
she's like,
suppose
she
they
says
told
the
you
only
that?
way is to the sea is through the caves. And Lorcan's like, they told you that? Yeah? And Rowan just says, watch it. I'm like, bro, he's gonna rip your fucking head off. And I'm not even gonna be able to be like, you did this to yourself, okay?
The best
like,
part is Fenris bares his teeth at Lorcan as well. So it's not just Rowan. He's getting it from Rowan and Fenris.
it's Rowan,
And she simply
it's Fenris,
says yes.
and it's Elide.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Aelin might be the only person truly on the team that is just like, I don't care. Like,
I don't have the energy for this right now.
I don't care.
This is not what I need
They
to...
all agree to go. Elide also is being fucking, like, pissed. She's like, I'll go. She cut a cold glance towards Lorcan. You can take your chances above if you're so disbelieving.
Lorcan's jaw tightened, and a small part of Rowan relished seeing the delicate lady of Peranth fillet the centuries-hardened warrior with just a few words. Oh, it's so good. pretty much, Aelin says that they're going to be escorted. Like, they're not going to be lost. The little folk are going to escort them out. So this is their plan. They're going to get on this boat, and they're going to leave. She goes and gets dressed in the clothes that they brought from Mistward for her. The little folk have brought.
So sweet. This is so inconsequential, but I want to read it anyways. The way that they get in the boat. The rest of the party waited on the boat, seated on benches built into its high-lipped sides. Fenrys and Elide both sat, seemingly as far from Lorcan as they could get. Gavriel, a golden, long-suffering buffer between them. It is one of the only things that I have specifically highlighted is Gavriel, a golden, long-suffering buffer.
Oh, so good.
Because he's been with them the whole goddamn time, and he's just like, oh, it's getting so much worse.
Yeah,
now there's Fenris.
Playing dad at this point between them.
I love her writing so much.
So, Lorcan pretty much asks the group why. Like, why are they going to... Because
he still would like to tempt his life and continue to question this shit.
Well, to be fair, he is the, like, guy tied to death. So, like, he's kind of... He questions a lot of things. He's like, death is going to come at some point for all of us. It's not going to be good. So, he asks why. Why go to these lengths for us? Referring to, like, the little folk helping. And then, as he asks this, Aelin is pretty much thanking the little folk for their service. Like, for assisting them, for saving her, for saving them. And as they're about to leave, one of them picks up the crown and, like, shows it to Aelin, like, offers it to Aelin. And Gavriel says, the crown of Maeve. The crown of Maeve. Mob? Okay, the crown of Maeve. Gavriel breathed. But Fenris looked away towards the looming dark, his tail curling around him. Aelin staggered a step closer to the crown. It fell into the river. Rowan didn't want to know how she'd encountered it. Why'd she'd seen it fall into the river? Maeve had kept her sister's 2 crowns under constant guard. This was all the scene when Maeve was trying to convince her that it was perfect and great, and here's this story that, like, I'm your aunt, I'm just telling you the story of this great queen, and, like, how she was trying to save her people and protect herself.
That's a different one. The one with the crown is where she takes her in front of the throne and has her kneel on the glass, and then kills her brother dies.
Oh, true. His brother dies.
His brother dies. That's what I meant. Yeah. That one.
My bad.
Go ahead. You're good.
Bullshit. It's not the glass bullshit room. It's Maeve's stone bullshit room.
It's Maeve's glass bullshit room.
Well,
where he makes her kneel on glass.
Yeah.
Just a different glass bullshit.
So pretty much the scene is when Connell takes his own life and she's kneeling on glass. A skirmish kind of happens, and then this crowd rolls off the balcony and into the river. And that was when we found out, or Aelin, the little seed of Volg knowledge planted into Aelin's mind, because she threw
so much happens in that scene.
Yeah, a lot of things happen. Gavriel softly says, "You want to know why? Because she is not only Brannon's heir, but Maeve's too. Mab's too. She's not only Brannon's heir, but Mab's too." Gavriel went on, awe in every word, and that makes her their queen too. Aelin met Gavriel's gaze, the crown near glowing in her hands. Yes, was all she said as the boat sailed into the darkness. Lorcan got all his answers because Aelin's not only just the queen of Terrasen, she is the heir of Mab. And so then she is the queen to the little folk as well. And they've known this forever. Her whole life have slowly been giving her messages of, like, we see you, we protect you, like, you're part of us.
It just makes me sad.
Why?
Because she's so... It's like she doesn't want it right now. It's like every fucking turn, she's like, I'm tired. I just want to like heal from what was done to me. And it's like, cool. So we got to think about Maeve. Also, you're the queen of the little folk, as well as being the queen of your own people. You're in the middle of a fucking battle. We have to go to the north because Lysandra and team are fucked without you, the Firebringer. So, like, you still have to fight Erewhon. Let's go. Let's get it together. And then on top of that, it's like, yeah, also I'm the queen of... Yes, Gabrielle, thank you for putting the other thing that I didn't have to think about for like 10 seconds on me. Thanks for the crown. That also is the physical embodiment of all of the shit I just went through, and also a reminder that I have to literally save everything. So I just want her to have like 10 minutes to heal, and that's not enough time, and she can't even have that. So I'm just sad for her, because now she has to go and figure out how to deal with the trauma and also save the world at the same time. It makes me sad.
I don't know. I liked it. I liked the like not added like other thing to her list of things, but the added benefit of like the little folk.
I love that the little folk are
supporting
her. I know.
When she was a
child,
is so
sweet.
Too, like she remembers the little like of the entire like her falling into the river and all of this stuff. Like she remembers the little folk making a path for her to escape from the very beginning. So it's just a nice little like full circle moment of like, we've known your whole life who you are, and we love you and protect you and just want to support you as much as we can. And then they do. Even though, like, when they were walking to the cave, we didn't touch on this, but the little folk pretty much, like, navigated the way. And then there were ones in the back that were, like, clean up all the footsteps and all of the, like, appearance so of people existing here. So no one could follow them. And I was just like, they're perfect. They're wonderful. They're just, like, branches, leaves. It's fine. No footsteps. It's fine. Clean, 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 clean. Everything is just forest floor. Don't worry. Nobody has traveled past here.
They're so cute. I love it.
I love them so much. But that, unfortunately, is where we end. Is they are off. So, Aelin and team are reunited. The Get Aelin Back team has gotten Aelin back. Like we
don't even know where they're going. They're just going out. They have to just get away. And right now, the only way that they can go is out the caves, which we don't know where they even go. So
it's fine. The little folk know where they go. They're gonna go to the sea. Everything's gonna be great. They're gonna go hang out with their friends.
We're gonna go pick everybody up.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna bring the band's gonna get back together officially. We're making our way. Aelin is with everybody, and that's all. All that matters is Aelin is no longer in her box.
True.
Box is gone.
Fuck that box.
Yeah. I really wish they would have destroyed it in some way.
I wish that Cairn were just put in the box and then put it in the ground, but he burned it, so that's okay too.
No, then Cairn would have been alive.
Necromancy is not confirmed to not be a thing, so I'm glad he burned his body. That shit should be unrevivable. Great.
Yeah, decapitated.
Yep.
Body burned.
That shit's not coming back. That level of detail, he's not coming back.
Mm-hmm. Added, I think, for very specific reasons.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
That's it.
That's it. That's all she wrote. Not actually.
Well, that is just a lot. There's a lot more pages she wrote. There's many.
Yeah. There's many more pages she wrote. But
much more words.
This is where we end this episode. Yep. We appreciate you all.
That's all we read.
On this journey with us. This journey of suffering and madness, and
it's fine. The suffering's over now. It's going to be all uphill for the next 700 pages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure. That sounds... Yep. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the episode.
We'll see you next time. You can find us at the Smut Peddlers on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the places for additional content. And we'll see you guys next time.
See you later. Bye.